We have talked a lot about responsive behavior and how Drupal 8 is built with mobile first in mind. Responsive design and mobile first content delivery have become so important that Google has recently changed its search algorithm to prioritize responsive sites. Let's review again what this means in the context of images, looking at the article node exploring spices. I'm going to switch over to Safari and just resize this again using the responsive resize bar. So right now we're looking at it at full size. We see a very large image. If we drop down to tablet size, we're still looking at a very large image. If we drop down to a mobile size, we see that the image gets smaller. The image, however, is exactly the same image in each case. So my browser is still loading the larger image right now, even though it's displaying it smaller. It's just rendering it at a smaller size. This means that in terms of bandwidth usage, I still had to download the full-sized image, and if this were a very large image, that could potentially be a huge waste of my mobile device's data. In some cases, you also may want a different aspect ratio for the image at different sizes. Perhaps on a mobile device, you actually want an image that's wider and not very tall, so that it's not taking up very much of the vertical screen space. This is where responsive images come into play. Responsive images requires another Drupal module to be enabled. The module that's needed happens to be part of Drupal core, so we're going to head over to Extend, and in search, I'm going to type in responsive, and I get a couple of options that have RES. The one that I'm interested in is responsive image. But before I enable it, I want to take a quick look at what's required. And it says that it requires the breakpoint image, file, and field modules. All of these modules are enabled. They don't have the little disabled indicator in parentheses next to the module name, so I know I'm all set. If one of them were actually disabled, when I tried to enable responsive image, it would ask me if I also wanted to enable the other module that was required. If a required module were missing, then I wouldn't be able to even attempt to enable the responsive image module. We'll go ahead and enable this module, save configuration. Now I can go over to configuration, scroll down here to media, and I have a new item under the media menu, responsive image styles. With responsive image styles, you are essentially creating a new display option for image fields, but this display will be a collection of multiple image styles. So before you set up your responsive image styles, you need to make sure that any image style that you want to use in a specific responsive image style exists under image styles. I'll go ahead and click on responsive image styles here. And there are no styles yet, so we're going to create one. You'll see this required drop-down menu underneath the label field, which is Breakpoint Group. This drop-down menu shows the themes that are enabled on the site that have responsive behaviors. As long as your theme is responsive and breakpoints have been defined, your theme will be able to have a breakpoint group that can be used by responsive image styles. We'll go ahead and save this. And now we can set up this particular responsive image style. I'm going to scroll down here. And what we have are the three breakpoints defined by the theme that we've told this particular image style to use, which is also the theme that we're using right now on the site. Each of those breakpoints then needs to have an image style associated with it. So in this case, we're going to use this in that view of images that we created. And what I'm going to say is that for the wide and narrow versions, we want to see the grid image style. But for the mobile version, we want to see the thumbnail style because we want it to be nice and small. Go ahead and save this. Now we've created this image style, and we can go ahead and edit either a content type display or our view to use the responsive image style as opposed to just a plain image style. Let's go ahead and edit our article content type. We'll go under Structure, Content Types, Article, and what we're interested in right now is Manage Display. So I'm going to take this image field and the format I'm going to change from image to responsive image. We'll take a look at the settings, and we only have one responsive image style right now. And then we need a fallback image style. I'll go ahead and use thumbnail for the fallback. And then we can link the image if we want to. I'll go ahead and update this and then save. Now if we go to an article node, we'll go back to content here and find an article. In the wide version, it's using that grid image that we set up for it to use. And just as a reminder, in this case, the grid image style does not look so great with the headshot that we've chosen to place here, which is intentional because we wanted to show off the capabilities of the focal point module in another lesson, which would fix this particular issue. This also gives a very dramatic display of what responsive images are capable of. So let's head over to Safari where we have our breakpoints, and I'm going to go to the home page here and scroll down and look for that About Rain article. Here it is. So now we'll click on that. And you can see right here that in the mobile version, we're seeing the full picture, but it's a very small version. It's been scaled down to 100 pixels tall. So it's not much of a bandwidth hog, which is very nice for mobile users. If I resize this to full screen, the image style jumps back to the grid image style. This helps to preserve bandwidth and improve site performance. These are both nice benefits along with getting a boost from Google in search results for offering a responsive experience to your visitors.